So now we're going to have a look at unrealizability of specifications, and that is the case when there is no way to find an implementation for the specification. So if there would be any kind of implementation for the specification, then the synthesizer would find it, but in some cases there is no such implementation. And we're going to look at how we can check realizability. We already did that. And then also how to compute an unrealizable core and counter strategies. So here we have some unrealizable specifications. There is this TrafficA2a that we had earlier, and it was unrealizable. So let's have a look. Check realizability tells us it's unrealizable. Now, what do we do to analyze this? We see unrealizability. Well, it can't depend on variables. It must depend on some assumptions and guarantees, and most likely, or in all cases, it is a problem of satisfying the guarantees. So either the guarantees are contradicting each other, or the assumptions are not enough to let the system satisfy the guarantees. So the first thing that we can do is we can compute a core, which is a minimal subset of the guarantees that is together already unrealizable. So, I mean, here we have 5 guarantees. So let's see if we can minimize that. We can go to Spectra add-ons cores and then say find an unrealizable core. And this finds a small subset of only 2 guarantees, and it tells us that these 2 guarantees together are already unrealizable. So let's have a look, and we saw that this was here. This is the safety guarantee that says that the 2 traffic lights are never green together. And then here is a liveness guarantee that says that always eventually the 2 traffic lights are green together. So, well, there's a clear problem here. We can't even satisfy these 2 together. So this is now, well, these 2 expressions here. So this we could already find out by just looking at whether it can be satisfied together, that green A and green B are true and not green A and green B are true. So we clearly see that can't be satisfied together. So this was a simple case. Now let's look at a little bit more challenging case. Let's see here, if we again check realizability, we see it's unrealizable. Now we even have 6 guarantees. Now let's see if we can find a core. Find some unrealizable core. Oh, it is, this core has a single guarantee. Well, that's not very helpful. So this means that this guarantee doesn't conflict with any other guarantee. It means that the assumptions are not strong enough to realize this guarantee. So now if we want to see how, if the assumptions are not strong enough, this means there is some environment that will prevent us from realizing these guarantees. So we can ask Spectra tools to compute such an environment for us. And this environment would then be a counter strategy that will prevent any kind of strategy that we could think of to realize this specification. So let's have a look. We can go to Spectra and then synthesize a concrete counter strategy. And here we see what the environment can do to prevent us from realizing these guarantees. So one of the guarantees that we can't realize would is that we have a car at A, and also we have a green light at lane A. So let's have a look what's going on. So initially there is a car in A, and we go to state S0. When we are in state S0, there's no longer a car for A. We go to S1, and in S1 there's also no longer a car for A. So basically what happens is that the assumption, this liveness assumption here, allows the environment to always go for the alternative that there is only a car for B. So there's nothing that says that there will always eventually be a car for A. So that is why the environment could simply only send cars on B. This would satisfy this assumption. And we have no way of realizing this guarantee that we can have a car passing on A because there's no car coming. Okay, so these are the two main ways of understanding unrealizability. First, we can of course always check realizability, and then we can compute either a counter strategy, or we can go to the add-ons and compute one unrealizable core. And yeah, there are different options here as well, all unrealizable cores and further options also. Now let's have a look at, there are 3 more specifications here, and the task would be to analyze these specifications and to understand the reasons for unrealizability using either the core or the counter strategy. So both of them have their rights. So if, for example, if the core is just a single guarantee, then probably we need a counter strategy if we still don't understand the reason. Or if the core is very large, this could also happen, that it might make sense to have a look at the counter strategy.